guys, this is Crafty Cat. Welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. We are here with all 31 days of World Watercolor Month. Now you've already seen these if you've watched week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 4. So I'll try not to tell stories. I'll try not to get off tangent. I'll try not to go too long. I'm already going too long. So let's get started. World Watercolor Month is the month of July every year, and Charlie O. Shields over at Doodle Wash founded it, and it is to help raise money for the International Children's Art Foundation. It's to support art for children so that they don't lose their creativity. They sell limited edition stuff every year that you could buy. You can only buy it for the month of July, and when it's gone, it's gone. So this year, I got this beautiful pouch created by Diane Antone, a very talented artist who is on YouTube. If you want to learn how to watercolor paint, go watch her. She's awesome. But there's all kinds of amazing artists who also sell their stuff. You can buy mugs. You can buy pouches. This is the large pouch, and I've got a hair stuck in it because I shed. But you can see how much stuff is in here. It's crazy how much it could hold. So, and the prices are really good, and you can get smaller pouches too. It's on both sides. So all of the money from this, I believe, goes to help the International Child Art Foundation. For World Watercolor Month, you were given 31, like however many days there are in the month. This time there were 31 days. You were given one prompt a day, but you don't have to follow the prompts. I like to because I like that challenge and it keeps me interested, and I don't know why, I like it. But you don't have to follow the challenge. You could draw and paint whatever you want as long as you use watercolor or gouache or something water-based. All right? Because it's all about watercolor. So this time, it's 31 watercolors in 31 days, and founded by Charlie at Doodle Wash, and the prompts this year were by the artist Angela Fair. That's F-E-H-R. All right, so I left the first page blank because I always do, and I'm going to do a little title page that says World Watercolor Month, but we just finished World Watercolor Month, and I'm exhausted, so I'll wait a couple days before I do that. All right, for day 1, the prompt was pattern, and I followed a tutorial called How to Paint a Simple Seashell, and it was by Lindsay at the Frugal Crafter. And I'm so happy with how it turned out. And I used my Derwent Graphitin paints. I think that might be the only time I followed a tutorial. I always do better when I follow a tutorial, but I'm trying to make myself also learn on my own, so I'm not just doing someone else's art. So that was day 1. If I could turn the page, it would be helpful. Day 2, the prompt was rush, so I did these bull rushes. And no, I did follow a tutorial for this one too. This is called the Cattail Tutorial by Reflecting Creation Watercolor Studio. And I use my Derwent Inktense paint pens. Day 3, the prompt was turn, and I used my Derwent paint pens again. I have 2 sets of them, and I just drew this myself. That is supposed to be me listening to albums in my childhood bedroom with Donny Osmond and Osmond posters, and you can see how bad I am at drawing people. I did better with Donny than with myself. I messed up the hair, the face, the body. I definitely need to learn figure drawing. But at this point, I need to learn everything. But I'm still happy with how that turned out. I like the vibrant colors. Derwent is very vibrant. Day 4 was Signal. And I used my good old Winsor & Newton Cottonon. They're the first set that I ever had. I love them very much. And I still find myself going back to them. And I kind of know how they work better. So when I need a soft sky in the background, I can do it. I can't do it with any other paint yet. No other paint can I do like the light muted background like I can. I don't even know if it's showing up. It's probably not even showing up on the camera, but there's light blue skies and white clouds, and then, yeah, it's very muted. But anyway, I can do it with Cotman. So I just drew this myself, but I did look at like 7 million pictures of lighthouses before I did this, but I knew I wanted to kind of do a lighthouse on a hill kind of thing. And then day 5 was patch, so I did the Cabbage Patch Kid logo, sort of. And I used my Staedtler tinted watercolor pencils and a pink and yellow normal watercolor pencil. Day 6 was Rusty. The prompt was Rusty, and I did this shipwreck with my Derwent Graphitin paint pens. And this is my own picture that I took at camp when I was kayaking last summer. We have a very rocky shoreline, so I have to learn how to do rocks. And this is where I learned that my white pen ran out because I wanted to do ripples, but I have since ordered a new one. But I'm really happy with how this turned out. The shipwreck with all the rust on it looks great. So, and I also use my pen. So this is like ink and wash, I guess. Day 7 was study. So I did Hermione, and just from my imagination. And I used my Sakura Koi watercolors, which were on sale for $11, regular $50. So I have a very soft spot in my heart for those watercolors. Day 8 was feather, and if I could do it again, I would, because my feathers ended up looking like weird fuzzy trees that belong in a Dr. Seuss thing, but look how shiny. So I used my Mozart Komarebi watercolors. I love those ones, and the Japanese style. I think this is the first time I used them in a year, and they're so pretty and vibrant and lovely, so I had fun with that. And this was the start of week 2. And then I started doing animals, and I love animals. Animals are like my favorite thing ever, animals and birds. So I am so happy that I can do animals. Like, I'm very happy with how this turned out. So day 9 was trunk. So I did this baby elephant. I used my Derwent Graphitin. The Graphitin are perfect for that African savanna kind of look. This is an African baby elephant. I don't know if you could see how glossy that paint is. Really pretty. And I asked Leonardo AI to do me some reference pictures of baby elephants with the trunk up high in the air. If I can find it, I'll put a picture right here of what he generated. The elephant had no nose, no trunk, and the trunk was sitting on the top of the head. Oh, it was so funny. Anyway, he tried, or it tried. So that was day 9. Day 10, the prompt was buried. So I did buried treasure on a tropical beach. And I just drew this myself. This is like my style. If I had a style, it would probably be this cartoony style. So yeah, so I just did that. I had fun with it. And I used my Derwent Graphitin plus vintage shimmer paints, which I still have to swatch for the channel, and Ohuhu fine liner. I don't know if you could see the shine. So I only used the metallic paints on the jewels and on the shells. So that was fun. I enjoyed doing that. And then day 11, because I had so much happiness doing the elephant, I decided to try more animals. And the prompt was huddle, so I did a little penguin family huddling. And I used my Mei Liang watercolor and Leonardo AI to generate me a reference picture. A lot of artists hate AI with a passion. I figure I'm going to use it to generate reference pictures for myself if I can't find one that I like. And it's not easy. People think, oh, you just say, oh, draw a picture of penguins. Yeah. He'll give you 5 arms, three beaks. You have to be so specific with what you want. So it's like you have to write a little novella to get something that you're thinking out of your head. Like, to get the AI to draw what you're thinking in your head, it's not easy. Okay, no more tangents. We gotta hurry through this. We're only on day 11. And day 12 was my favorite one for that week. This is Scratch was the prompt. I used my Paul Rubens watercolor, and I found this reference photo on lifescience.com. There was an article called "Why Do Cats' Claws Retract and Dogs Don't?" And there was a real cat posed like this. So I just took that picture and I turned the cat into a cartoon cat. So I'm really happy with how that turned out. I love doing animals. Love it. Animals and food, I would say. Animals, food, and landscapes are my favorite, and cartoon. On day 13 was arch, so I did these arches in Utah. This is Moab, Utah. And I found the reference picture on Unsplash, and I did watch a different video by Emily Olson where she painted a similar arch, but not this. I don't think it was this exact same reference picture. It was a different one. But I did watch what she did first, but then I kind of went off on my own because I'm not good like her. She's like awesome. She's a really, really talented artist. I mean, she could do this with her brush and masterpiece. She's so good. I can't do that. So yeah. Day 13 arch. I'm really loving my Paul Rubens. I used just the regular black tin for that one. And this is another one of my favorites. Day 14 was Spiral. I used my Paul Rubens watercolor. I'm getting used to how to use them in this. It takes me a while, but I'm really happy with the muted background and the way the snail just pops out of the foreground. And this is like an evergreen bough. And I found the reference on Unsplash. And I'm super happy with how this snail turned out. This is like also one of my favorite ones that I've done. Day 15, I was not happy with this when I did it, but now I am. I think it's fun. So these are the Flintstones vitamins. The prompt was vitamin. I used my Winsor & Newton Cotman plus those metallic paints that I got from Temu for like $6 to go over them. So first I tried to make the chalky looking first I sketched actual vitamins that I found the picture online. And then I tried to make them look chalky by flinging water drops at them and using my brush to take off some of the paint. And then when that was dry, I went over it in metallics. And this is supposed to be, I wrote viruses, but I meant germs because I'm 60 years old and my brain doesn't work right anymore. So these are all the germs, and it's to show how strong the Flintstones vitamins are. They're repelling the germs. But what it really looks like is that they're being bombarded by a meteor shower. Like, you know, the one that took out the dinosaurs? So, yeah. But I didn't like it the day that I did it, but now I love it. I think it's cute. Day 16, I was exhausted, tired. So I pulled out my Caran d'Ache Neocolor 2 Aquarelle, which are wax crayons, and I did an apple. I can do an apple in 2 minutes flat now because I went on an art supply binge all spring and summer. I bought so many different art supplies, and every time I got a new set of oil pastels or I always did an apple. So yeah, I had no reference. I don't need a reference for apples anymore. And I think that looks like an apple. My mother thought it was a pumpkin. Does that look like a pumpkin to you? I see an apple. In my brain, that's what an apple looks like with the yellow and the white dots. And but I guess, Anyway, I really like those watercolor crayons. Here, I'll show you. These are awesome. My best friend bought them for me for my 60th birthday. So, and if you want to do something fast, those are the things to use. Day 17 was plant. So I did this adorable squirrel planting an acorn. I couldn't find a good picture of a squirrel planting an acorn. So I asked Leonardo to generate me one. He kind of did, only he put like millions of acorns on all of the trees. Like, imagine this tree had hundreds of acorns, not millions, but acorns everywhere. So I had to change it up a bit. It's not perfect, and I accidentally dropped water drops on it from my hand got wet and I didn't notice. So I had to try to fix it up. I like plop water here and there. It was nicer before I dropped the water on it, but I did try to fix it. And I am learning a little bit. But I'm happy with how this turned out. So that was 17, right? Okay. Day 18 was another, oh my gosh, I'm tired, I'm not going to make it to the end of the month kind of day. And it was record. A record. I'm sure it was record, but I chose to make it record because I already did record for albums with my Donny Osmond one way back on day 3. So those are my Donny Osmond albums. So that would have been first, like the records, right? An album is a record. So I decided to read it as record. So I did Donny recording the album. And that is an actual, my reference picture was an actual cartoon of the Osmonds with Donny singing. I found a picture from the cartoon, and all I did was change the color. I think he was wearing a yellow shirt, but Donny should be wearing purple, so I put him in purple. Yeah. So it's like a caricature, almost. So you can't beat Caran d'Ache Neocolor crayons when you need something fast. That was day 18. So day 19, I thought I better take some more time. I felt that I was just doing really quick things and not challenging myself anymore. So for day 19, I did something that was harder for me. People are very hard for me. You can see Donny's hair is here because it wasn't quite dry when I closed the book. But I did widen. I did this wide skirt, widen with a hoop. And this is from a March 1857 Godey's magazine, which was online, and I did her facing away. That's the best I can do for a human if they're actually not looking at me. I can do their clothing and their head from behind. I can't do faces. I can't do hands. Bad at feet. But this was perfect. I'm really happy with how that turned out, and I used my new Paul Rubens Ulan. So I got a lot of compliments on this one online. People seem to really like that one. Day 20 was striped. I am Crafty Cat, so I did a Crafty Cat, or I guess an Arty Cat. And these were Derwent ink tints, not pencils, but the paints, plus the Staedtler Design Journey tinted watercolor pencils. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how my kitty cat turned out. And she spilled all the paint and the water. And the cat is also painting stripes that match the cat. And that for the day 21 brings us to the end of week 3, and it was filter. So I found this reference photo online. I used my Paul Rubens in the black tin, and I did this coffee filter. Pretty happy with how that turned out. And it was fun just using limited colors like this. And now, the beginning of week 4, the longest week in the whole month. There were 10 days in week 4. And this is my favorite painting for the whole month, you guys. Day 22, the prompt was pull. And this is Bacardi the Pug, who I called Puggy for the first few weeks that I knew him because I didn't know his name. So he also responds to Puggy. And he's my little pal out at camp. He's a little pug puppy, and I hope he's going to be out there again this year. And he always came with me down to the water when I would watch the sunrise, and he would pull me by my house coat. That's like the tie to my house coat. I have a short green house coat that I wear in the summer. It comes just below my knees, and I also wear it like as a bathing suit cover up so I don't get any sun on my arms. So yeah, so he's like waiting for me to play tug with him, and he's so cute. And I'm so happy with how this turned out. And I used my Paul Rubens black tin. And by black, I mean I have this Paul Rubens that came with a solid black tin. And I have this Paul Rubens, the Ulan set, that came in like the tiger tin. So this one is just the regular black tin. And I really like both of them. This one was cheaper, and if I could only buy one, this is the one I would suggest this one. Because it's only $29.99, and the paints are amazing. The other one also has amazing paints, but it's expensive. So this is my favorite painting for the whole month. And I think it's just because I love this dog so much. But I'm very happy with how it turned out. Day 23 was Tidal. I used my Paul Rubens Ulan, which was the tiger stripe tin. And this was a photo I found on Unsplash. So Tidal. And I'm getting a better idea of how to do muted colors in the sky. I have a hard time, like very hard time with wet on wet. You have to work so fast with wet on wet, and I'm not fast. So, yeah. Day 24, this is also one of my favorite paintings. This is Effervescent. I did a watermelon drink from an actual recipe at goodnet.org for this exact watermelon drink. So yeah, I used my Mei Liang watercolors, and they have a row of metallics. So I did some metallic over top, some white metallic to give it that effervescent look. And I drew in some bubbles. I used my pen on, usually do use that little pen on everything. I think the dog was the only one I didn't use the pen on. Yeah, I didn't use any pen on the dog. Day 25 was Luminous. I used my Paul Rubens Ulan watercolors. Also used Leonardo AI as a reference. This is a luminous little body. Happy with how that turned out. And I used a white gel pen on the wings and in the sky, and just for highlights, and my normal black pen to outline. Day 26 was Global, and I did this Christmas globe, and I also did this as part of Christmas in July for Diamond Grandma's Grandma's Christmas. She has a challenge every year where you could just do just about anything for Christmas in July. And I used my really expensive Rembrandt watercolor paints that I won last year as a prize when I did World Watercolor Month for the very first time last summer. Day 27 was Obstacles. I did Wile E. Coyote from Looney Tunes painting an obstacle. And these are the Caran d'Ache Neo Color Chews, which are the wax crayons that are water soluble. I love these when you need to do something quick. Pretty happy with how that turned out. Day 28 was Sweet. So I did my Sakura Koi watercolors, and the picture was from Unsplash. And I accidentally tilted my paper, so he's leaning over a bit. But I'm very happy with how that turned out. And I used some white paint to go over this. But yeah, I think that came out really nice. I was surprised by how that came out. I'm learning so much. Day 29 was Serenity, and I used the Rembrandt paints again. And I found this photo of a little pelican on Unsplash. And I used, what is it called? PBO drawing gum for the first time in my life. And what you do is you draw what you want to be white in this blue drawing gum. And then you let it dry. And then you paint over it. And then you just rub it off, and you have white below. And then you could go over where the white is and put some more colors, like for shading and stuff. So, yeah. And day 30, the prompt was deck. So I did a deck of cards that I found on Amazon for Go Fish. And I used my Caran d'Ache gouache. Yeah, so I think that was cute. It's very bright and vibrant. This is my very first time using these paints other than swatching them. I'm going to have to get used to them. But they have a nice velvety finish. And that leads us to day 31. Today, as I'm recording this, is day 31. I did this today, and I used my brand new Daniel Smith Primatech paint. It's a set. Oh no! It's a set of paint. I thought I just wrecked it. It comes in tubes, but I decided to swatch it and put it in this little tin. and I'm just waiting for it to harden. It's still pretty sticky, so I'm leaving the tin open. I thought I put something on top of it, but I didn't. So this is how it looks on dollar store paper, okay? And this is how it looks on watercolor paper. Like the dollar store paper, the Dollarama paper is watercolor paper, but this is my Canson XL watercolor paper, which is still not a great watercolor paper, but here you can see how granulating it is. This is beautiful paint. It's also very velvety and smooth. And the top row is what the colors look like. And the bottom row is, I just mixed some things. There's a video on my channel if you want to see it. I really don't know what I'm doing yet, you guys. So I'm learning though. But I love these colors. But every time I get a new paint, I have to learn how to use it. I wasn't prepared for how pigmented they are. So I went way too strong. I did the water first. And this is a white rock with just lichen growing on it and some shadows. And a little piece of wood that the turtle's sitting on. This is from a picture that I took myself at Whitefish Island. So yeah, so if I could do it again, I wouldn't go so strong with that blue. But I did, and I didn't want to try to fix it with water. I don't think this paper could take another layer of water, so next year I'm going to buy cotton paper for World Watercolor Month. But this year I did not, and I made it through all 31 days. So that is it, you guys. 31 paintings in 31 days. And I'm so thrilled with them all. I'm just so happy. I did 2 tutorials. I do much better following a tutorial. But I also was trying to challenge myself to do my own thing too. So I did that. And you know, I surprised myself in some areas. Like that I wasn't happy with. But this I was really happy with. And I really love my drink. But I would say we will end on Puggy. This is my favorite one. So maybe what I've learned is I don't like outlining it in pen. Maybe that's what I've learned about all of this. I don't know. I do like outlining things in pen. What do you guys think? Out of all of the 31, which was your favorite one? And what was your least favorite one? And if you are an artist, what would you suggest I do to improve? All right, guys, I really appreciate you taking all of this time to spend with me. I know this has been a very long video, and long videos generally don't do well on my channel, but I really appreciate you taking the time to spend with me. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great day, whatever it is you're doing. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all of those good things that help me as a channel, and most importantly of all, take care, stay safe, happy crafting. Bye, guys.